Welcome back all, Dad's from MRTsave10 Techniques. So this week I'm doing a little bit different video, sort of noticed the theme here of me experimenting with stuff. So I started to learn a little bit more about Loconet and the Loconet cabling. So I'll show you how I make the Loconet cables. Also we go into a little bit of history and why Loconet is the way it is. I did most of my research up on DCC Wiki. Big shout out to my Patreons out there who support the channel. Every little bit counts, so big shout out to them. Thank you very much. And there will be a link below if you wish to become a patron and help me out also. Background photo by Gavin Thrum, so big shout out to him with my DA South Australian Railways wagon, second, or the one just behind that locomotive there. Also, I'm an affiliate of ABR Model Works, so Chris and the team are producing some lovely kits and also 3D prints as I am. So he's been nice enough to give me a discount code, which will give you, the viewer, 10% off. He will post anywhere in the world, so I will put that link below. So that's MRTsave10 ABR. It is case specific. So without further ado, let's get started. MRT Scale Prints, helping you to add realism to your model railway. We are producing craftsman quality prints in various scales, including HO, O and N scales. We are proudly Australian owned and operated. www.modelrailroadtechniques.com. So as we all well know, Loconet is a trademark of Digitrax. So all this information that I'm about to give here is all off the DCC Wiki website. And I will put the links to that below because it's got some great articles. So what is the little bit of the theory behind the Loconet cable? So I initially didn't know much about the Loconet until I started studying a little bit more for this video. So in short, that obviously we're using a six wire flat configuration. So you can imagine, as I've got shown up on the screen here, this picture. So wires 1, 2, and 3 are a mirror image of 4, 5, and 6. So you got the two Loconets, 3 and 4, grounds outside, and then rail sync A and B outside of that. So the reason why there's two ground pins, which they're saying obviously is pin 2 and 5, as shown in the diagram, and the two Loconet connections, pins 3 and 4, so the effective loop resistance is lower because of the parallel wires. This is the science behind why the Loconet cable can be run over great distances, up to 1,000 to 2,000 feet, depending on the type of wire used and the capacitance of the wire, obviously. So the beauty of this, obviously this setup as well, there's some redundancies built into the cabling. So if one of the ground or signal connections is broken or intermittently drops out for whatever reason, the network can still maintain its connection reasonably reliably. So I'll read this next bit verbatim. It's obviously a little bit wordy. So the two outside wires, pins 1 and 6, which are the rail sync A and the rail sync B, carry signals in the opposite polarity or different signaling compared to the master system rail packets, which is called rail sync. So the rail sync allows the network boosters, so this is more the cabling for the network boosters, and other Loconet devices to be connected anywhere along the cable run. So the beauty of this is I've also come from another protocol called the S88 world, so they all have to be daisy chained together. So that the beauty of the Loconet philosophy and the architecture behind it is what they call a freeform type of wiring. So what you can actually do, there's obviously no termination required. It doesn't need to be a linear bus, as I spoke about with the S88N restrictions, but you can have a branch, a T, you can have it in linear bus if that's what you want to do, and expand the Loconet configuration without having to recalibrate with different addressing like you do in the S88 world. So the S88N world. The only thing is a big no-no, and it's in bold on all their documentation, don't loop back on itself. So you terminate it and you terminate. So it doesn't need to run back to the command station or anything like that, or another Loconet device. So I'll go through exactly how I make the cables in a sec. However, this is a very, very quick little diagram, which is quite easy to see. So we're going to call whatever you do, whether you use the white wire or the blue wire, which is on the outside, as pins 1 or 6. You just got to maintain that color coding. So what I mean by that is, most of the literature, they use pin 1 as the white wire. So the way I find the easiest way, and I will go through this, so one is one, but then what you'll actually see is to line them up perfectly like we have got here, there will be a twist in the wire. So what we mean by that is, you can sort of see here, so they got pin 6 on the outside with the little lock-in connector facing up and the lock-in connector facing down. So the beauty of obviously the Loconet setup, if you do say if you do get this around the wrong way, so you have the little mnemonic they use is white on the right. So if you get blue on the right, as I'll explain to you, as long as you did exactly the same the other end, you'll be good to go because of the wiring standards and the mirror image on the cable as we described just before. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into actually making the cable now. So I just wanted to go through a little bit of the theory behind it, and also obviously it's a good ready reckoner, and also learning for me to work out how and why, at a very basic level, why Loconet cables work the way they do. So let's get into it. So with making Loconet type cables, and also any other sort of networking cable that you might do throughout the layout, obviously you need a pair of these crimpers. So these are specifically designed for RJ45s, RJ11s and RJ12s. So obviously we're looking at RJ12. So the only real difference between RJ12 and 11 obviously is what Loconet uses. It's got 6 pins, where the RJ11 in my part of the world is 4 pins and mainly used for telephone services. So what we're going to look at doing is stripping. So the beauty of doing it this, and then I'll show you what tool I use afterwards, is so the beauty this tool's got is it does have 2 parts to the crimper. So we got one that will cut all the way through the cable, and that comes quite handy because if you're looking at other sort of cable cutters, obviously they don't cut a nice dead flat cut like that. So, and then obviously on the other side we've got something where we can take some of the sheathing off. So that's what we're going to do now. So we'll just quickly put some of that in. Just a matter of getting in there, nice tight grip with your left hand or right hand, depending on which one you are. And that's obviously probably just a little bit too much that I've taken there, but we will just trim that back. So the way I look at it, so we've got the clip, if you can see on the top there. So that's the bit that goes into the female receptacle of the RJ12. So all you need to remember is it's very simple. So you have the white wire on the right hand side, you have the clip on the top, slide it in. Now you just got to make sure there's not a lot of resistance when you slide that in. What you need to be mindful of is to make sure the wire doesn't go into the wrong connection. So if there's a little bit of resistance there, it's quite possible that that's what's happening. So it should just literally slip on like that, and you know you're good to go. So with that, then it's a matter of getting your crimping tool out. So I've got the 6-pin version here as well. It's just a matter of sliding in, and they only go in one way. So mine, the clip goes at the bottom. It's the way I hold it for a right-hander. And you sort of, as you do it, as you got hold of it like that, you sort of push him with the cable a little bit so it doesn't come out, and then you crimp once or twice, and then that's good to go. So I'll quickly show you the other side. So white is right again, clip side up, no resistance going in, get it in the right order, a little bit, just push it in just a little bit, and we're good to go. So what we need to do now is use our cable tester. So this is the one I got. I didn't spend a lot of money on it, maybe 20 Australian dollars if that. So I will put a link below. I don't think you can actually get this particular brand anymore, but we'll put one similar that will do the job. So the only issue with this one is it's only got an RJ11 and RJ45 connection. You don't use the RJ11 because that's only, as I said, it's only got a 4-pin. So if you use the RJ45, which is fine, and I'll show you what the little issue with that becomes, or not issue, but what you just need to be mindful of. because the RJ45 is a data cable, it has also 8 connections to it, whereas we've only got 6. So what you'll find is, as I'm scanning through, it'll start at number 2. So you can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's all the 6 cables. So then as they line up, so 2 and 2, 3 and 3, and I know that cable is good for my Loconet. So obviously normally you won't have those two together. When I terminate my wires, I do a spool of cable and I run it all the way out, add just a little bit extra so that the cabling's not tight, and then I put one of this one end and one the other. Because what you find is if you disconnect one of them and you got the test on, you won't get anything, so you know your cabling's not correct, so you need to have that in. So if it's flashing up 2 there and 3 and 4 and 5 all in order, you know you got your cabling right. If you get a scenario where you go 2, 4, 3 and then you start jumping numbers and you're jumping around, you know your cabling, when you've put the plug on, has gone onto the wrong pin. So it's just at that point you need to cut that plug off and just freshly terminate it. It's no point trying to rescue them. They're only a few cents each, if that. That's the end of this video on Loconet cables. By no means am I an expert. It's just what I've been starting to learn, starting to get into the Loconet world myself. So if there's anything that I've done wrong here, please reach out, comment below. Any other things I could look at to make better cabling is always a good thing, because it's obviously the main communication bus. Also, don't forget to have a look at my website, MRTscale link below, and also ABR Model Works for 10% off as I'm affiliate. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Make sure you subscribe, click that little bell icon to be notified of upcoming videos. Support us on Patreon, like us on Facebook and Instagram at Model Railroad Technique.